Hello and welcome back to another episode of Talking Naughty with Capt Frank. That's me. So today's topic, 8 things. 8 things that every boat buyer should do. But before we get into it, please, if you like this video and find it useful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends and all the people you hate too. So let's just get right back into it. In addition to properly outfitting your boat, either one that's new or new to you, there's 8 top things that I have found that every boat owner should do. And let's just go right through them. Number 1, register or document your boat. When you purchase a boat, you want to verify with the appropriate state and federal agencies what paperwork is required and that you have the correct documents on board. For example, U.S. Coast Guard documented vessels are required to carry the original certificate of documentation on board at all times. No photocopies or anything like that. You got to have the original document on board. You have to carry that at all times when you're operating the vessel. You'll also want to ensure that all required decals and state registration numbers are properly displayed on your boat. So if you buy the boat, you're either probably going to document it with the Coast Guard. It's going to be a documented vessel. Or you're going to register it with the state, in which case, you have to display the state sticker and the numbers on the bow, or where they, as they designate where it's supposed to be. So for Coast Guard documented vessels, in addition to properly displaying your boat's name and home port on the hull exterior, a documented vessel also has to display the number assigned to it by the Coast Guard. The number preceded by the letters NO must be marked in block type Arabic numbers at least 3 inches high, and it must be permanently affixed so that alteration, removal, or replacement would be obvious and cause some scarring or damage to the surrounding hull area. And the reason they want you to do this is so that it can't be easily changed, or if somebody wants to mess with the number, then it's obvious that that's been done. Number 2, get your insurance. Just like your automobile, you'll want to have the proper type and amount of insurance on your boat. And this should be done before you actually take possession of the boat. While some boat insurance terms will sound familiar, such as liability and coverage to your boat if it's damaged, you'll also encounter new types of coverage that you may not be familiar with that are boating specific. These include environmental protection, which includes cleanup protection should your boat sink or you accidentally spill fuel or discharge oil overboard. The type of boat you have, as well as your boating plans, will also determine, what type of insurance is needed. For example, the owner of a small powerboat is going to have different insurance requirements than a cruising sailboat. Start your insurance search by speaking with companies or brokers that specialize in marine insurance, both of which should be able to advise you on the type of coverage you need and the amount. When purchasing smaller boats, check your homeowner's insurance company to see if and to what degree your new boat will fall under its umbrella of coverage. Some boat insurance coverage items may also mess with your automobile policy. For example, your marine insurance may cover repairs to your boat's trailer in the event of a towing accident, while your auto insurance may cover the liability side of damage and injuries caused by your trailer. The key takeaway here is to know what both policies will and won't cover and make sure that your insurance needs are met. 2 additional tips when shopping for marine insurance. 1, first off, the cheapest quote is not going to always be the best option. When comparing quotes, particularly between a marine underwriter and one that primarily provides automobile and home insurance, be sure you're comparing apples to apples and not apples to oranges. Verify that both are offering the same type of insurance and amounts before simply selecting the lowest offer. The inclusion of environmental cleanup protection in a typical marine policy is a good example of this, as many non-marine policies may not include this. A very important aspect of your insurance is not what is included, but what's excluded. For example, you may find a policy that it seems to cover everything that you want, except that the exclusion language, what I call the weasel words, may take it away, at least in part. Also, you want to choose a policy that provides a agreed upon hull value. And what this means is that, you and your underwriter have agreed upon what the boat value will be in the event of a loss. In other words, if aliens come and take your boat tomorrow, you know exactly what you're going to get as far as money. If you don't have that agreed upon hull value in there, then what's going to happen is the insurance company is going to send out some marine surveyor, and he's going to try to recreate the value of the boat at time of loss. So you want to avoid that, just have an agreed upon hull value. That way you know exactly what you're going to get if the boat sinks, burns, blows up, whatever. Number 3, assemble a vessel information folder. So this is a centralized place for all of your boat stuff that you need to organize, such as your registration paperwork, documentation, equipment manuals, insurance information, purchase receipts, work receipts, and so on and so forth. A zippered index notebooks or accordion style folders work great for this. For smaller, more open boats, a small waterproof pouch to keep the title or registration documents handy but safe and dry is also a good idea. Number 4, learn your boat's basic maintenance requirements and start a maintenance log. While helping with the purchase of my first boat, my dad made the comment, you know what, if you take care of the oil, the gas will take care of itself. And what he meant by that is that, you know, the boat will let you know when it runs out of fuel. However, it's not going to let you know if you're low on oil or you miss an oil change. So you've got to be proactive and take that responsibility on yourself in that routine maintenance. Every boat with an engine will at a minimum require annual maintenance, such as oil changes, fuel filter replacements, lower unit or gear oil changes, and possibly winterization for those in colder climates. The first order of business for a boat owner is to learn what maintenance is required and to make sure that it gets done. A maintenance log makes this job much easier by providing a centralized location to note and track all the upkeep and maintenance required for your new boat, and also when it should be done. Use it to plan future maintenance, from engine oil changes to hull waxing, as well as document completed tasks. And if you have a trailer, don't forget that it requires maintenance too. You also want to generate a parts list that shows the name and the purpose of the part number, the price, and your source for the part. This can save you countless hours later on. And of course, this could be more complex on larger boats than smaller boats. However, no matter what maintenance you do, if you have a ready source available where you buy the part, you have the part number, you know what you got to buy, where you're going to buy it, this is going to make your maintenance a whole lot easier. And I can tell you from experience, the easier it is to do the maintenance, the more likely that it will actually be done. Finally, from a maintenance standpoint, finding a good service center or marine mechanic are things best done before they're needed. It allows you to avoid the rush by planning and scheduling things such as annual maintenance, fall decommissioning, and spring commissioning well in advance. Number 5, learn how to properly fuel your boat. This seems like a no-brainer, but don't take it for granted. The open fuel system of a boat is different than the closed fuel system in your car, particularly with regards to vent spills and results of overfilling the tank. Learning how to prevent these spills during fuel fill-ups are crucial to avoid environmental spills and the hefty fines that they can generate. The other side of your fueling coin is to make sure that you use the correct type of fuel for your boat. Check your owner's manual to verify the recommended fuel octane requirements for gas, as well as restrictions regarding the use of ethanol fuels, specifically for those greater than 10% ethanol, E10, as they can damage some marine engines. Be especially careful when fueling at roadside gas stations and fuel plazas. Unlike most marinas, they often carry higher ethanol blends, and pump labeling for them is often easy to miss. Number 6, learn your boat and how to operate it properly. The training and expertise to operate your boat is an important step for any new boat purchase. While you definitely have to learn the basics, starting your engine, steering the boat, there's a lot of other skills that go along with operating your boat, from docking to launching a trailer boat to anchoring, navigation, and learning the rules of the road. This is true for both new boat buyers and experienced buyers as well, particularly if you're transitioning from a new type of boat, such as a power boat transitioning to sailing. Although the basics may be similar, a single engine sailboat operates a lot differently than a twin engine power boat. Owners who are new to sailing, and this is something I observed, and I did it myself. When you transition from power to sail, you buy a new sailboat or you buy a sailboat, you treat it like a power boat with a big stick in the middle of it. And that's fine. And, It's normal to, learn how to operate the boat. You're gonna walk before you run. So you go out and you practice on your new boat, get used to it. You crew on other people with similar type of boats and get the knowledge you need to allow you to operate your boat safely. In addition to crewing for other boat owners, another great way is to take safety courses such as those offered by the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, United States Power Squadrons, as well as other state and local agencies and organizations. In fact, a lot of states now, they require you to have some type of, certification, a boating certification course. You got to pass something to enable you to operate your boat anyway. So this is a good way to gain the knowledge you need to do this. Number 7, for you trailer boaters, learn how to launch your trailer boat. The beauty of a trailer boat is that you can easily visit and explore new waters, but for new owners, it means learning 3 new sets of skills: how to safely tow, launch, and retrieve your boat. If the plan is to utilize your existing vehicle to tow your new boat, do yourself a huge favor and make sure that it's of sufficient size to tow this new boat. Your new boat has to fall within your towing vehicle's maximum towing capacity. It's called a GCVR, Gross Combined Vehicle Rating. Don't forget that this number also includes not only the boat and trailer, but all of its contents, the weight of everything inside of it, such as fuel, water, and equipment. You also want to learn how to back your rig, not just straight, but also negotiate turns. If you don't already know this will probably take a little bit of time. You don't know how to back a trailer, but you can do it if you're patient with yourself and have someone helping. When you learn how to back a boat or back a boat trailer, assure that you have ideal circumstances at first, such as a wide open space and nobody to bump into. Traffic cones, be of help too. You can find an empty parking lot, and practice from there. While boat ramps can be a zoo at times, there's a procedural etiquette involved when it comes to launching and retrieving your boats to keep things civil and flowing smoothly. Avoid being the recipient of muttered curses and shaking fists, as well as a stink eye. I learned that in Hawaii. By taking the time to learn the protocols of the ramp you're using and practice both evolutions to improve your proficiency. Weekends are the busiest times for using a boat ramp, so visit the boat ramp during the week when there's not so much people, and you can practice your launching and retrieving your boat without being rushed or, all the catcalls from the peanut gallery. Finally, number 8, boat storage. While, the question, what type of boat am I going to get, may be the first one you ask yourself. The second one, a very close second, should be, where am I going to keep it? Unless you live on the water and have your own lift or dock, the answer will likely be at a marina, on a trailer, or possibly both, as many marinas offer trailer boat storage options. For smaller boats with trailers, the answer could be as simple as parking the boat in your garage or your driveway. If you're going to park it in your garage, is there enough room for it? Height, width, and stuff. If you're going to park it in your driveway, now you got other things you got to ask yourself. Are there neighborhood or homeowners restrictions for long-term residential parking of your new boat? Whatever the answer, make sure that it's a safe place, and not only from bad people, but bad weather. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this, you got to stay tuned for the next one, because we're going to be talking about hose clamps. I know it doesn't sound like a riveting topic, but we're going to be talking about things that you think you know about hose clamps on your boat, but you don't really. So stay tuned for that. And while you're eagerly waiting for it, don't forget to check out my online store. I got baseball caps. I got sun hats. I got copies of my nautical trivia book, signed and autographed, delivered directly to your door. How can you beat it? So until then, stay safe. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, and you want to buy Capt Frank a cup of coffee, please click on the thanks button below this video. All tips received, not spent on coffee, will be used to improve my YouTube channel and create even more awesome videos.